Commissioner Scott Britton, the 14th District, where you are right now. How about that? Well, it's good to be home with one of you. And I do have to shout out very quickly before I introduce our keynote speaker. When I first moved here, it was a Universal Republican elected office holders group. And by the way, we retired the last one, this last election. It's all Democrats here in North Carolina. That includes a lot of the people who are on our school boards, our park district boards, and our library boards. It's universally progressive, and we have to appreciate three people specifically that I'd like to shout out very quickly, and that would be Elaine Necris, Mike Kreloff, and our fantastic committee person, Tracy Katzmal. I am here to very excitedly welcome our keynote speaker to today's luncheon, the Lieutenant Governor of the State of Illinois, Juliana Stret. She received her bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois, ILL. There we go. And law school at DePaul University. Having practiced and then taken a kind of a track that I do myself now, where I do mediation work. We certainly could use you in Washington to try and get some people together, by the way. But she then decided that public service was her true calling. And she served in the Illinois House of Representatives from the 5th District, and then was tapped by our fantastic governor, J.B. Pritzker, to be the lieutenant governor of the state of Illinois. Now, one of my favorite quotes in politics was by John Nance Garner, who was the vice president under FDR. And he said the vice presidency was not worth a bucket of warm spit, except he didn't say the word spit. And that's probably true. In fact, our current vice president probably could be summarized in that phrase. The vice presidents and lieutenant governors are who they choose to be. And our lieutenant governor has been a fantastic partner with Governor Pritzker and has done so much for all of us. In her time in office, we've all seen it through the COVID pandemic, through the strife that happened from the murder of George Floyd, and not one, but two Trump administrations. It's continued to be limitless challenges that she has approached with grace and dedication to the things that we all hold true, that truth and justice and equity matter in our state and in our country, and I believe that she embodies those principles perfectly. Now, I have been around for a while. This is my 24th year as an elected official here in Northville Township. And I've seen a lot of senators, great senators in this state. We've been very, very fortunate for that. And that went through Paul Douglas, Everett Dirksen, who was a decent man and a Republican. Not a lot of those left. And then through Alan Dixon and Carol Moseley Braun and Paul Simon and Tammy Duckworth, a guy named Obama, I can't remember his first name, and of course now continuing through Senator Durbin. Now, I've known Senator Durbin since his first run for office in Congress in the early 1980s. I was in college, and I worked on his campaign, and I've known him ever since. And there are very few people that I would run through a brick wall for. I would run through a brick wall for Dick Durbin. He is that kind of person. And he has taken an interest in me and so many of us who are in this room today, and because he cares. And he has carried our progressive values through the Congress of the United States, through his Senate term. And let's give him one further round of applause. So when I was preparing this introduction for the Lieutenant Governor last night, I thought to myself, I haven't endorsed in this race. And I thought, after looking at everything and thinking about the work that you have done, I can tell you that I've decided to make a decision on that. Luckily, Raja left before we started. Madam Lieutenant Governor, you do have my endorsement and my tens of votes that I control as our next U.S. Senator. So, and I do that for a very specific reason. I believe we need a worthy successor to Senator Durbin. I know that there is one person in this race who will continue to lead with the equity and justice that we demand as Democrats and that we require as Americans. And so it is my very great honor to introduce to you the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Illinois and your next U.S. Senator, Juliana Stret.